Greetings, Reelers. My name is Philip, and together with my wife Sherry and two of our friends, Chris and James, we're Fellowship of the Reel. Four people who love talking about movies almost as much as we do watching them. We hope you will join us as we dig deep into cinematic masterpieces, and some that are, well, maybe not. You have an opportunity to be the fifth host of our little show. Click the link in the show notes and leave us a voice message telling us what movie you would like us to review. You can also reach out on our Facebook page, Fellowship of the Reel. From all of us at Fellowship of the Reel, thanks for listening. Okay, on with the show.
Are you recording this?
Studying a movie in the mechanical level, I think, can really bring some revelation.
I believe that no one sets out to make a bad movie, with the exception of...
On paper, this should work.
You know, this should work.
But I just don't like it.
That's your own fault if you haven't seen it.
Way over
car
budget,
chases.
start
Yeah,
cutting
right, yeah,
scenes.
right.
Even the actors don't know what that movie is about. Shit, I wish I wrote that.
Which I love the title, but that movie's trash.
Well, it's oatmeal, man. It's good for you. All right. Fellowship of the Reel. Four Friends in a Movie. This was my pick. John Carpenter's The Thing. So, another movie in our 4-movie tribute to Halloween. So, in October, we're going to have 1 movie a week. We picked 4 scary movies. Sherry picked The Shining. I picked The Thing. And so we're going to talk about that. This movie came out, 1982? June 25th was the release. It had a budget of $15 million, so not a whole lot of money. I have a feeling that the marketing division did not do this movie justice. It had a domestic gross of $19 million on a $15 million, and an international gross of $2,000. So, what did they release it one day somewhere overseas? $2,955 international gross for a total worldwide of $19,632,000. Now, I say the marketing division because the critics and the fans genuinely like this movie. 83% for the critics gave it 3.5 stars or higher, and 92% of the fans love this movie. And I love this movie.
I think that's kind of a misleading thing. When it was released, from what I understand, critics did not really praise it that much. They thought the special effects were overboard by quite a bit. It really caught on with home movie rental. It really caught on fire there. But, I mean, I could be wrong. I wasn't even born at that point, so I don't know what they would say.
Well, no, that does... I do remember now that you mentioned it, reading something about how critics sort of panned this movie when it came out. Which is unfortunate because, like I said, it has garnered much higher praise in the years following, and probably the home video market has done that for it.
Yeah, it's got to the point. I thought of this. They may have thought that it was overboard on the special effects, but I think now in the current era of 2022, looking back, this movie is a great example of how practical effects can be used.
Oh yeah,
look great. And everything about it. So yes, I think this is a shining example.
Yeah, the creature effects in this movie, I think, are every bit as good as, say, even Alien. Like some of the effects in Alien, like the monster in this one, the creep factor, the skin crawl factor is right up there on some of these scenes. Even a viewing of today, like I watched it this morning and made my notes. I watched it before and then I watched it one more time this morning to make my notes. And the creep factor is still there every time you see it. So it's very well done, I think, as far as the special effects.
There's one thing that bugs me, and we'll get to it when we kick into the story.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about it, and it may answer the reason why it wasn't so big overseas.
Okay, all right.
So that's a teaser for you.
Gotcha. Again, we're doing 4 scary movies, and generally they're going to be the genre monster in the house. I think this is a monster in the house. The monster is The Thing. The house is the research station, which seems to have several names. On the sign, it says research station number 4. I think throughout the movie, they refer to it as Station 31 sometimes. So I don't know if they could nail down the actual name of their station, but there is a camera cut where it says U.S. Research Station number 4, but
it's an American outpost on Antarctica.
Yeah,
essentially.
So the house is the research station. The sin I had a little trouble with, but there is reference to one of the characters saying to another, "We need to burn all this," and the character responding says, "We can't burn that. That's somebody's Nobel Prize, or whatever." Mm-hmm. So I think ambition and accolade and pride in digging this up to get the Nobel Prize or get accolades is the sin.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe, and I haven't seen the prequel with I guess there's a prequel out there that tells what happened at the Norwegian camp.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like maybe those things could maybe speak to that, just based off the footage and stuff they show in this one.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like it was more like the theme, if there is one, is more like paranoia and mistrust. Like they don't, even before I feel like shit hits the fan, there's kind of like, especially McCready and Childs are kind of going back and forth a little bit. Like I feel like there's like the opening image from McCready, he's in his hut alone.
Yes.
Playing against a computer when there's 12 other guys he could be talking to.
Right. There is definitely personality friction between some of these characters.
I guess part of their not knowing who the thing is, right, as the movie gets going, right, their mistrust and paranoia for each other is what leads to, the way it ends up, I guess.
Yeah, these guys don't strike me, not all of them don't strike me as scientists
some are
or
pilots.
Military.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of almost like a penal colony.
Well, some of them think it like I think Palmer and McCready are the pilots, right? And then
there's a doc.
I kept calling him Cooper, but it's Copper. Copper and Blair, the doctors. I had to learn their names so I could keep track of who was getting whacked at what point. But like Gary is the sheriff or the security.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you were in
Knowles
the Navy.
is the cook.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're in the Navy, you have a mix of people
Yeah,
doing.
so it's like an institution. They set up different roles.
Yeah, I got a kick out of the communications guy. His name is Windows.
Windows, yes, yeah.
That I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's Money Critics fans. It's generally liked, but I think, like James says, initially it was panned. I think it became big in the home market. I like this movie. I like John Carpenter. Generally like a lot of his movies.
Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of good ones. Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Both
I mean, New York and LA are both him is what I meant.
Yeah.
Sure.
New York is better, I think.
And then I can't believe I didn't say Halloween first, but
yeah, that movie terrorized me as a kid.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah,
and that's probably my absolute most comfort movie right there.
Yeah, I've watched
Big
that one the
Lebowski and Big Trouble,
Yeah.
Spinal Tap, like those are my comfortable.
Are you crazy? Is that your problem?
Yeah. Anyway, so generally I'm a fan of John Carpenter, and I like this movie. Now, the opening image, as we get into the structure here, I definitely like this movie. I'm not sure this opening sequence is in step with the rest of the movie. You got this almost animated crashing of the saucer
right
at the beginning of the movie, and I guess if I'm not a fan of any part of the movie, that's it.
It had the same exact vibe as Predator. Predator has the same thing. It opens up on Earth and a spaceship coming in and crashing. It's like in this movie specifically and Predator, you don't need it.
I'm pretty sure it's the same footage in both movies I'm playing.
It could.
It's not.
They're very reminiscent of each other.
They are very reminiscent.
But they're not needed.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel like it was needed, and it seemed almost cartoonish and out of step to me with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't realize this thing's from outer space without that, then
they go to visit the ship in the ice later, and you clearly see
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, with some cool matte painting stuff.
Yeah,
so it's like a hat on a hat, a double dip, if you will.
Yeah,
Phil and I was talking about this. Like, it's probably some producer from a note from some fucking producer was like, dude, is it clear that this is the thing's alien? Let's put a bit in there at the beginning about a spaceship.
Yeah,
it's like, just look at it,
because the thing did it, and then later on, 5 years later in '87, when they're doing Predator, some producer probably used that as his example. The thing did it. Fucking put it in there.
As if looking at it's not clear enough that it's from another planet.
You're not paying attention.
Right.
Go watch The Shining or something.
Yeah. This movie opens up almost what they call in the middle of things. In media res is the idea that you're starting the story right in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening. So you're opening up with the hunting of the dog by the neighboring station, a very chaotic scene. I think this is effective because as an audience, Carpenter had to know they're going to be on the side of the dog. You see a dog, see a dog, you're instantly drawn in. Don't hurt the dog.
That's my first note.
That's what I was saying.
Sniper's a dick if you don't know what's going on. You know, like he's trying to shoot a dog. What the hell? I hope you fall out of the helicopter, dude, and break your neck. Yeah,
which is exactly what
they want. Yeah,
what they allow. They welcome the dog. They protect the dog, and what they've done is bring in.
Okay, but the first time that thing shows up, I said they should have shot that dog.
Oh, for sure. But it's too late at that point.
Yeah,
but
at
first you're like,
want to shoot the dog.
No, but I agree with you. So that's the brilliance. Is at first, no, don't shoot the dog. No, dude, I hope you die.
Right.
And then, like Sherry's saying later, when it comes out of the dog, you're like, oh,
yeah,
they should have shot the dog. Damn it.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Can we go back?
So it's my turn to blow your mind. That was my teaser. So it might not have done well overseas. Is because when the helicopter lands, the Norwegian's shooting at him. The guy gets out with a rifle and said, "That's not a dog. That's an alien.
Yeah.
Get away from that. I'm gonna kill it."
Yeah.
Oh,
we spoiled the whole
translated?
thing.
Yeah. And that's what he says in Norwegian.
So other people who were able to understand Norwegian.
Yeah, they're like, that's an alien. Okay, ruin the movie. So if any of the guys had spoken Norwegian, they would have gotten away and killed the dog.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's like having subtitles on The Sixth Sense or something saying "dead guy says," you know, or something when it's Bruce Willis, you know, like really? That's you had one job, man.
I was paraphrasing. I do not speak Norwegian.
So we get the alien spaceship, but we don't get the if you're gonna cut something, cut their dialogue that spoils the whole thing for.
Well, that's what he says. Hold on, no. That's what he's saying is get away.
Yeah, I know it's not translated for us, but like you said, anyone that speaks that,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
jackasses.
Rooting for the dog, and you don't know he's trying to tell you,
right?
And then he gets shot in the head.
Yeah. Gary shoots him,
and I like that even too. Like like you deserve to get shot. You're trying to kill a dog. Fuck you. And just I think you're automatically on board with the guys at the camp or whatever, because all of a sudden here these crazy assholes show up. They're chasing a dog. They got guns. Like, what are you gonna do? You
shot in the leg,
he shoots one of the guys in the leg.
But also,
you catch that after he gets shot in the leg, McCready kneels down to him and goes, "Hey man, are you okay?" McCready had his alcohol or whatever.
Yeah.
And McCready just leaves it in the snow to take off. And the guy goes, "Hey, I'm fine." He immediately picks it up and takes a sip. The guy that got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I mean, you get shot in the leg. Yeah, take a sip. You know.
Well, I don't think it comes across in the film, but the helicopter chases that dog from the Norwegian scientific.
It's an hour away by flight, they say.
So
later.
miles and miles and miles.
Yes.
And nobody in this American camp is like, this dog is running miles and miles and miles. You're in Antarctica. These dogs aren't native.
They're snow dogs.
Well, I think
no, I'm with you, James. They
never
even think about it.
But there is nobody to question that because there's the hand grenade fiasco and the helicopter blows up and then the other guy gets killed. So at that point they're left with a bunch of questions, which we'll get into. But
let's take this random dog in.
That part annoyed me, like the way they shot it. Like it slipped out of his hand, so weird.
Right.
Like
you went to throw it and it went behind him. I mean,
it's like you threw it back. It was weird.
He had gloves on and his hands were numb from flying for hours.
Yeah, no, it very well could have.
Okay.
I know I'm putting.
No, I mean that
annoyed me. Like not the fact that it happened, just the way they did it. Like I don't know, have him. I don't know. There's other ways to do it. I guess.
I'd rather eat a grenade than have a monster.
No, absolutely
clone me.
So
for sure.
Opening image still quiet day to day. Okay, so we get the scene of their life here, which is them playing pinball and this kind of thing. Quiet day to day. McCready's playing chess and he loses and he pours the drink. So
cheating bitch.
Cheating bitch. So here's a guy that doesn't take losing very well. I said doesn't like to lose, lives apart from the others in his own quarters. Like Chris was saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where you're going with that, but I guess there was two things I noticed is. To me, as far as character setup, here's a guy who's playing chess, right? So to me, establishing maybe a little bit more like intelligence, right?
Yeah, right.
And a guy who can think several steps ahead, kind of thing,
yes.
right? So and that's going to come useful down the road.
Yes, I think this is a.
And then even the even a little bit of the mistrust. Like here's a machine, like accusing the machine of fucking cheating,
sure.
And a guy who's willing to, like you said, takes losing so poorly, willing to sabotage it. Like he fried that to where he's probably not playing chess anymore.
Right.
After that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that also plays into later in the movie when he decides to torch the camp or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not getting out of here. And he's it's the same thing, cheating bitch, and then
Right.
Me.
No, it is
So it's good
definitely because what you want to establish character by his actions, and I think so. I think he's established pretty good. He's going to be not necessarily loner, but he is going to be the leader, chosen as the leader later, and is comfortable on his own and self-reliant and this kind of thing.
Well, we put Blair in your shack because I don't want him in my shack. Sorry, jumped way ahead.
Yeah. Well, they make him move his stuff out of the storage room too.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Says we got. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, that's we get this opening image of MacReady. We get sort of a feel for the camp. The setup. The only thing we really learn is I'm not sure what they're researching, but it's a research station of the United States.
The effects of alcohol and isolation.
Long-term ice exposure.
Yeah. Number 4. It
This
says
thing
on the
MacReady
side.
comes out with the bottle in his hand.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when the shit's coming on, like zero shit's given.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. This is the setup. This is we're a research station in Antarctica. Number 4. Catalyst. Okay, so couldn't necessarily nail it down, but Norwegian station.
The Norwegians stated it for you, Phil. What do you mean you couldn't figure it out?
Yeah, they come in shooting. The dog must die. Norwegians are both killed. One by Gary, the security guy. I guess he's in charge. They say later, one in a great grenade mishap. So the catalyst is this big fat WTF what the fuck mystery that the Norwegians have basically just dumped in their lap. It's the first week of winter. They're out of radio contact, and the Norwegians have only been there 8 weeks. Not enough to go bonkers, they'll say later. So there's this big mystery that sort of happens upon them. And I think as we get into it, I think we're going to see that there may, and you can see if you thought differently, Chris, but I think there's a double bump catalyst in this story.
So the dog showing up and them kind of throwing this in their lap.
Can I go back to this? I was looking for it.
Sure.
This is exactly what he says. Get the hell out of here. That's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. It's imitating a dog. It isn't real. Get away, you idiots.
Damn.
That's what he says in Norwegian.
So it's the plot
And
of
that
the
just
movie.
shows you that, like, and obviously in '82 they didn't think much about like international box office because they knew, all right, this will be in Norwegian.
Yeah.
Most Americans won't speak that. We're not going to lay subtitles on it, so most Americans won't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And then, but yeah, as soon as they show it over there, they're like, oh,
Thanks.
huh.
Yeah. Big spoiler. Yeah. So this is the catalyst. I
An
think.
American and Norwegian talking about the movie or whatever.
Well,
Yeah, man, can you imagine, the reveal at the end? That was what?
They told you
It's
exactly.
right at the beginning.
Yeah. And MacReady keeps calling them Swedes, and
Yes, I thought that was very funny. They're not sweet. They're
Norwegians. It's not Swedes.
Fun fact, Swedes and Norwegians don't really get along.
Right.
They make fun of each other.
Okay.
I wonder if like MacReady knew that, right? And so he's calling them Sweden like it's Sweden on purpose.
No, he's red-blooded American.
Yeah,
they're all the
they're
same.
all the same.
All the same. Okay.
So we move into this debate. What do? We need to report it. Do we visit the camp? It's bad weather. Is it worth the risk? Palmer says he'll go, and they do. We don't want you, Palmer. He goes, oh, well, thanks for thinking about it, though.
Yeah, right. Very quick.
Palmer appears to be a little on the fringe, and they don't. They want MacReady. Doctor is going to go with them. Doc Cooper, an hour flight away to the other station. So off they go, and then there's this. Now there's going to be some red herrings, I think, in this movie. Some misdirects, this kind of thing. The dog makes a visit to who? We see the shadow of him on the wall only, but when MacReady and them fly off, the dog comes down the hall and goes into a bedroom or one of the bunks.
The fun thing about that is animals are notorious. Like, they don't take direction.
Yeah.
That dog did that entire walk down the hallway and the pauses and the looks all on its own.
Really?
They just had the camera going.
Oh my gosh.
So they just 1 in a million shot. They got that.
Yeah, so I don't know, because I wrote down at the end, the order in which they are taken over, but I don't know who this character is. I suspect that it may be, and I can't remember his name right now.
Clark, right?
Clark, the dog handler.
Yeah.
But
And watch Clark. Watch him
keep-
closely.
Yeah, and then
It was specifically left ambiguous.
yeah, I think it is a misdirect, definitely. Whatever. They get to the other camp. The other, I wrote.
Because to be fair, the dog didn't do anything. We know that now, right? right? I mean, because it's still in the dog later, right?
No, it multiplies itself.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So there could be several.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, yeah. No, you're right.
I don't know what
I was
it would
watching
take-
at one point thinking it was just one, but yeah, it does multiply itself because there's several times when you think they kill it and then they
Yes,
didn't because
yes.
it had multiplied already. Yeah,
Yes, yeah. The other camp has experienced, and I just because of watching The Mist, they've experienced the problem of submagnitude. Some of it seemingly self-inflicted. They find the guy who's cut his own throat. Cooper is astounded, and he is a doctor. MacReady doesn't seem too shaken up about all this guy who's cut his throat, and MacReady takes it like
yeah. Fuck these Swedes, man.
well, it just seems like he's experienced some of this before and has gotten a certain callousness to it. Whereas Doc Cooper, I wrote down Cooper every time, but it's Copper. I don't know why I wrote Cooper. Copper.
It's not Cooper. I swear they called him Cooper.
That's what I thought. And then, but like in IMDb, it's listed as Copper. And I think Gary calls him Copper. And I'm like, Copper? Okay, well, anyway. But a doctor is more shaken up by this than MacReady, which seemed to indicate to me that MacReady had a past. Like he's a little bit.
He seems to me like he's an old Vietnam pilot.
Yeah, right.
Really.
Probably, yeah, something like that. A colder approach he has to it. They find the ice crypt, debate further what it could all mean, evidence of mass destruction by fire, burned up in a hurry. There's, what is that, a man in there? They find these corpses all burned up. Back to home base number 4, the dog is watching. There's several scenes, I think, that are effective of the dog keeping an eye on things, you know.
Yeah, when it's underneath the pool table.
Yeah.
I mean, the tennis table. Let's watch him.
Yes. The autopsy of the burned remains from the Norwegian camp. You can almost see them debating as they stand around looking at it. What does it all mean?
I really like that shot. You talking about when they're all standing around the table of the is that a man thing laying there?
Yeah.
I really like that shot because it just like they could have so many different ways he could have shot it. And like I like how as they go around the table, like they're actually standing in the way, like the camera's behind them.
Yeah.
So like you see a little bit of because you're obviously what you want to see is what's on the table,
Right.
As an audience member, right? So you're looking at it, you're like, oh, what the hell is that? And then there's a dude in your way.
Yeah.
And
No, it's
then you pass the guy, and there's a little bit more. And then I'll show you, there's another guy in your way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool the way they did it.
Right. Yeah. No.
It's like get the hell out of the way, man. I want to see what's on the table. You know.
Well, we're gonna get to see plenty, I think. So Docs Cooper and Blair do the autopsy while Windows, the radio operator, still can't get anybody on the line. Things seem to return to normal. Clark, the dog handler, is ordered to put the dog in with the others.
Just a quick question. That's the scene where was it Wilfred Brimley? I always want to call him Quaker Oatmeal man, but that's the scene where he has the pencil, right? And he's talking to him, or is that later?
That's later.
Later, okay. I'm gonna shut up then. Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
I had a question about that.
because right now I think they're still debating about what it means, but they don't know what it means. So life sort of returns to normal after this.
No, you're right. With after the dog is when they're
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
So they've had a catalyst with the Norwegians and the discovery of all this, but they don't know what to do and they can't reach anybody. So it seems to settle down.
Sure.
We're given a double bump almost immediately. The thing emerges from the dog, right? So they put the dog in the kennel. Clark goes to investigate. After he hears the dog's crying, doesn't like what he sees. The monster comes out. Childs gets the flamethrower, and he's like, and again, MacReady is very quick to act. Everybody else is like flat on their feet. Even Childs with the flamethrower is hesitating, but MacReady is like,
I like when
man of action.
Is it Knowles that goes to Childs as he's like, getting dressed still, still in his room, and he's like, MacReady wants the says get the flamethrower. MacReady wants the what? That's what he said, man. God damn it! And he's putting on his fan it cracks me up. He wants the what?
yeah. But MacReady is all action. He's like ready. So
because as soon as he shows up, he's still not fast enough for him. Get your ass in here is what he tells Childs. Yeah.
MacReady is always the first to react. Others are in denial, Clark, or slow, Childs, and finally they torch it. It almost gets away, they torch it. Another autopsy by Blair. Here's where he does the pencil thing, learns it's an organism that imitates other organisms.
And he uses 1982's world's best ever computer to figure out the virus
dated,
will
but
take
it was
over.
cool. Like the way they delivered the information. Like I was before we get to that, he has a pencil, right?
Yes.
I swear to God, he touches the thing with the end of his pencil, like when he's pointing.
Yeah.
Like lays it on this mess.
Yeah.
And then he puts it on his mouth later. I'm like, you're infected now, buddy. You know.
Probably.
Like, but anyway, I don't know if that was
Yeah,
like a mistake or intentional, but Anyhow, that was
yeah.
my question. If y'all saw that too, and does he touch
I
himself?
may not have picked up on that.
Does he touch? Well, poor
I didn't
choice
notice.
words. Yep.
Yeah.
I know that Wilford Brimley wasn't there for the whole shoot. That kind of helps explain his absence through a big chunks of the movie.
Yeah, they locked him in.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm good now. I want to come out.
I really want to come back in there, All right, so debate number 2. So double bump, again, the thing emerges. They seem to have another debate. Mistrust sets in. They review the tapes from the Norwegians and see that they've dug this thing out of the ice. They were digging something up northeast of their camp, and so now they get in the helicopter and go to this place. So it's almost sort of a repeat of what they've done before going to the Norwegian camp.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're getting in to go to where the spaceship is.
But we skipped over the 1982 software stuff.
Oh, the computer.
I don't think
That's not happened yet.
75% chance of, I don't think that happens yet.
Okay,
I
that's what I was talking
I
about.
think
'Cause
I
I
have
was,
that.
even though it was
that's
dated, like I was into that. Like I was reading it, and like to me, like it still hit. Like 75% of you guys, fucking hell. It's
Yeah,
like,
chance of, 75%.
like that still is like,
Because that's his,
yeah.
Sorry, I jumped ahead there. I just had to point that out. If they put a really expensive computer that can do all that figuring in Antarctica, like what?
Yeah, well,
What?
no.
It's a research facility. man.
Yeah, it's a research. Maybe they were doing a viral testing down there.
Sure. Well, yeah, maybe.
Could be infectious diseases.
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead. Now they're going to check out the.
Up in the helicopter they go. McCready and 2 others find the ship. It's Vance, McCready, and I never did get who the third guy was that went with them. Because I was trying to keep track of who everybody was at all the times.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wearing masks, so I couldn't see who the third guy was. It was Vance and McCready and the third guy. That's not important. He doesn't die here. So another debate. Childs cannot believe. He keeps calling this voodoo bullshit.
This voodoo. I don't believe this voodoo
You
bullshit.
believe this voodoo bullshit? I don't believe this voodoo bullshit. Palmer, fringe guy. Oh, it happens all the time. They're dropping out of the skies. They control South America. Palmer's like, yeah, the sun comes up, aliens drop. That's the way it is, They tried to debate what it is.
Like he's wearing a vet jacket, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to fly with Palmer. They try to debate what it is. Blair, when asked, just ponders as the scene ends. Knowles finds underwear in his kitchen.
Nasty drawers.
Indicating, and I wrote down, is this another red herring? Because I'm not sure that we ever find out whose they are, but...
Yeah, right. Was that part of the thing discarding its clothes, or was that just somebody being nasty?
Right, yeah.
It was disturbing to me that McCready handled them. Like, if those aren't your nasty drawers, I'm not touching those. You know what I mean? They're not mine. But he grabbed them and moved them, and
Oh, yeah.
But again, that could be all fall under the umbrella of not phased by anything. He's seen some.
Right.
Shit,
No,
but-
nothing is phasing
Yeah.
McCready. All right, this is where
He's like, I don't know what the hell you asked me for. Ask him. Yeah.
yeah. When they're talking about the aliens,
Yeah.
Blair ponders. This is when the voodoo bullshit. You believe this dog? He does some. This is your computer scene, James.
Yeah.
Does some research. Comes to the conclusion about the rate of infection. 75% chance that someone is infected. 27,000 hours after first contact, the entire population. Which Sherry figured what was like 3 years.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, it was. I think
I don't remember.
it came out to be like 3 years after first
That
contact.
sounds about right.
Yeah. At this point, we have not broken into two as a story, but Blair has his own what I call personal break into two, because Blair sees this and then grabs the gun, and he breaks into two. I think way before everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say part of the fun and games, but you're saying he breaks into two for everybody else. You don't think going to the ship is their break into two? Like after the dog's done its thing and the
I think it's still
debate trying to figure out what the
catalyst
hell's
and
going
debate.
on?
Yeah. But you may see it differently because once we get through this, you'll see that I think that it's not structured completely like we want to think.
Sure.
Anyway, I think Blair has his own personal break into two. He grabs the gun, so he's already going to take action to stop this.
Yep.
The others, I think, are still debating. Windows, and he's sometimes called George, sometimes called Bennings. George Bennings moved the thing into the storeroom where McCready was keeping his stuff. He's got to move out. Windows, this is where I
I'm not
think...
sure why his stuff was in there. Like he's got his own shack.
Yeah, but apparently he had stuff stored in there. Yeah, because I thought, well, is that where he's staying? But then I remembered, no, he's staying in...
Shit. Weird.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Windows wants to burn it all. George says, can't burn the find of the century. This will win somebody the Nobel Prize. And so I thought that's when, having discovered this thing, they dig it up. And because even McCready will say, and the Norwegians dug it up, not thinking, okay, well, this is alien. Any possible problems with this? At least George thinks that it's somebody's Nobel Prize. No, people get rich off this,
Well, Alien came out in 79. This was in 80, so they were up there. Like the movie hadn't gotten to the Antarctica yet, so they didn't know.
Sure, yeah. Well,
they weren't afraid yet.
Yeah, they weren't afraid.
Right. So I just wrote down, is this the sin? Ambition, riches, accolade. I think the theme of mistrust definitely is there, but had they left it alone, none of this would have happened. And why did they dig it up? And then they're filming themselves, and because they want evidence, they want to. Here, Fuchs wants to talk to Mac because I guess at this point Blair has locked himself or has gone away because Fuchs can't find Blair. Fuchs wants to talk to Mac. George is left alone with the thing as Windows goes to Gary to get the keys to the storeroom. Fuchs tells Max Blair's theory because I guess he's gone through his notebook.
Yeah, but he won't even say it like in front of the other guys.
No,
he agrees to meet in the snowmobile or whatever it is.
Yes, he does not want to spread these theories just yet. But he goes to Mac, not Gary. Gary is the leader. Gary is the guy in charge, apparently.
That's the sheriff guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he is drawn to Mac naturally as the one to handle these kind of things.
Well, you make it quick. I'm getting tired, man. It's getting cold in here. Like I like how his
It's 40 below. Man.
Yeah, didn't give a shit. It was like I'm tired. Like like he to your point, he's the natural leader and they're the guy they go to, but he doesn't want to be even.
No,
really. Like, just leave me alone. I want to be in my shack.
Yeah, I'm tired. It's cold. Absolutely.
Go and play some chess. Oh wait, I can't do that.
Yeah. Windows discovers George ain't George no more. So this is the first confirmed George I have is the first confirmed takeover by the alien. May not be, but it's the first one we see of this group. Windows discovers George ain't George no more. And so now I think we've had this double bump, and now they have to deal with it. So here's where I'm calling it the rest of the break into two. I think Blair has already made his break, but I think the rest of the...
Yeah, because that I was thinking it was earlier, but that does mesh with what I was just talking about. But I'm tired. It's 40 below. Like that's not a break into two kind of guy. Right?
No, that's
a.
I don't want to
in
debate
denial
this,
and debating. I don't want to debate this. But then as soon as that happens, he goes running in there, and then he's all on board.
Right.
About let's deal with this thing after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Windows leaves through. Okay, yeah. So a couple of I'm always looking for doors. Windows leaves through the storeroom door. Fuchs and Mac exit the vehicle doors into the second act. Whatever.
Oh yeah, nice. Your little doors and windows.
Doors and windows thing, man.
That's cool. I think about that. Yeah, they get out of the. Yep. That's cool.
Yes. Now
it's a really good trick, by the way. That really helps me when I watch movies. That's what I'm looking out for.
He's doing the Leonardo DiCaprio. I always call him DiCaprio. Leonardo. I can't even say his name properly now. Anyhow, the meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's what I pictured you doing.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you see doors
exactly,
and then the snapping and the point. Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty much me watching TV.
Sure.
Or watching movies.
Right. No, but I just mean when you see something that feels like or whatever. Well, the doors.
To go back to the Rocky 2 episode, I was like, I think I got the second beat. I'm like, yep,
nailed it.
Yeah.
So Philip, you've helped me.
Yeah.
Notice when the second and third acts happen.
Sure. Now this is I wrote it down at 47 minutes into the movie of an hour and 48 minute. So I think it's a little, but I think that's not sloppy. I think that's intentional. And
sure.
Maybe
like a little late, but and maybe that's why I was having a problem with it as far as me wanting to place it earlier because I knew I was like, all right, that's too late.
Right. I'll hold off till we get to it, but I think there's something going on here. Windows gets Fuchs and Mac. Discover George Bennings has left the building. So George is gone. George, I think, is the first one that we see get taken over. Gary has struggled with this because I guess George is his friend, but McCready is all about it. They have to burn the rest of them. Cleaned out the storehouse, the lab. There was nothing left. So they gather all this up and burn it now because they realize what's happening. So everything is burned. And I wrote down, but the dog visited somebody and somebody left their drawers with gnawls. So, so they think that,
wow.
They like
got
that.
a gift for that.
Hey, they think that they've taken care of everything and that it's over. But it isn't, obviously. All right, so then I have us moving into the fun and games. So that's the breaking the two in the fun and games. So they're burning everything. So I've been trying to keep track of all these characters. At the burning, on screen at least, there are 9 characters present. McCready, Knowles, Palmer, Childs, Cooper, and Norris. Vance, sometimes called. There is this long stretch where Clark is missing, and I think that's a misdirect, that because everybody wants to think of Clark, especially Blair. Keep an eye on Clark. Clark seems to be missing. I haven't seen him in a while. Gary, Fuchs, and Windows are there. Blair has locked himself away, and George is being burned. So I just was trying to keep track of the characters at that point. We learned that Blair has destroyed the helicopter, and with the gun has taken things into his own hands. He's also taken out the chopper, and the tractor, and now he's in the process of knocking out the communication. So he had, like I said, I think he broke into two a little quicker and caught on to what was going to happen and what he's at the point that McCready, I think, will get to.
Yeah.
But he breaks in a little sooner as learning what's going on, being the doc, a smart guy, whatever. Clark does show up now and is concerned about his dogs. I guess Blair has also killed all the dogs. So Clark does show up and runs to check on the dogs. They subdue him, lock him in the tool shed, which is where he's going to be for the rest of the movie. Blair doesn't know who to trust. Mac tells him, trust in the Lord.
Yeah.
Trust in the Lord. Whatever. Blair tells Mac to watch Clark close. Mac now suspects that some are not what they seem, and they come up with this blood serum test. Fuchs is going through Blair's notebooks. This is all fun and games, is what I'm running through. Yep. Accusations start. So now the mistrust is really starting to set in deep.
Yeah, you got the feeling that they didn't really like each other.
No, there was not a lot of love to begin with.
Sure.
As a bunch of strangers put together on a team who were all...
Did it say how long they had been there already?
Well, now, McCready will say first damn week of winter after the Norwegian fiasco.
Which in Antarctica would be July?
Probably. So I don't know how long they'd been up there before that.
It was winter all the time up there. It's always fucking cold.
Well, in the southern hemisphere, first day of winter would be July.
But I don't know how long they've been up there.
Cool.
Already.
Just taking Armageddon. Worst environment imaginable.
Yes.
Don't sign me up.
So they come up with this blood serum test, but they need the blood to do that, and they discover that the cabinet has been opened and the blood is destroyed.
And then they have a big debate about the key and who had access. And
yes, accusations start, and Clark. So Gary and Copper are the two with the keys, and Clark was with the dog. So these are the three suspects at this point. Windows freaks out and goes for the guns. Gary chases him down and says, "You'll all feel a little better if I gave up my gun." So he gives up his gun, and there's debate about who's going to leader be. Well, Child's like, "I'll be the leader." And McCready's like, "No, we need somebody a little more even-tempered."
Right.
And Vance is originally chosen, but he doesn't want it.
And I don't think I'm up for that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm up for that, guys. So it falls to McCready. Nobody wants Childs. Mac is the man. We're told that a storm is coming in 6 hours. A second group around the fire as they burn the blood supply. So they burned what they thought was everything. Now they're burning, in a similar scene, the blood supply. Thinking again that, this is going to take care of things. All right. Clark, Cooper, and Gary are led away to be tested. Norris injects the serum. Mac is now making a tape for posterity in case we don't make it. The shredded long johns found by Norris had the name tag missing. Could be anybody's, McCready said. So again, this idea of whose are these, right? And he calls it U.S. Outpost 31 as opposed to Research Station number 4. So I don't know that's just continuity or whatever. Fuchs is going through Blair's notes and there's a power outage. A shadow in the darkness. Fuchs pursues.
Wait, before that,
outside.
When McCready's making his tape, he says, and no one trusts anyone anymore.
Yes.
And then he stops it. And he rewinds it, right?
Yes.
And then changes it, records over it.
Yes.
And changes what he says.
Yeah.
To make it sound more upbeat, I guess.
Yeah, I wasn't clear as to why he was doing that, but he erases what he recorded.
I was like, that sounds a bit rough. Let me, somebody, I don't know, it doesn't explain it, but also with when they're doing the shot to the dock, He's like, oh, let me do it.
You're gonna break the needle.
And then fucking Childs goes, hey, he's doing just fine. Back there holding the torch.
Right. Yeah.
Made me laugh.
That's good stuff.
Yep.
All right. So Fuchs pursues this shadow guy that has run past his room in the dark.
Haven't you seen some more movies, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That was a good jump scare. I don't think it was a jump scare, but that was a really creepy moment when that shadow passes.
Oh,
by
right,
the
yeah,
door.
sure.
No, I would call it a jump scare. Yeah, it didn't get me enough to make me jump, but
Right.
it's the same idea.
It was a solid. Yeah, solid.
What the fuck was that?
Solidly
And
executed.
then he calls and, hey, who's there? And no answer.
Right. Outside, a jacket or something that has MacReady's name on it is found. Again, I think a misdirect, another red herring. Fuchs goes,
Or MacReady's the thing the whole damn time from that moment on.
Could be.
well, they do test the blood
No,
later.
you're right. They test blood.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Fuchs is missing. Knowles and MacReady outside. Palmer doesn't want to go. This is when they are trying to pick teams to go outside and stay inside. I ain't going. Palmer doesn't want to go. I don't want to go with him. I don't want to go with you.
Well, who said I wanted to go with you? Right.
Knock off this bullshit. Windows goes with Mac and Knowles. Nora stays with Cooper. Gary and Clark. Palmer and Childs look inside. So, they're staying in guarding the place. So Mac, Windows, and Knowles go to check on Blair. Ask about Fuchs. Blair is saying, Fuchs ain't the guy. Fuchs ain't the guy. I think it's funny. They look on him and they check on Blair, open the door, and there's a noose hanging from
Noose in there, yeah.
a noose hanging from the
But
ceiling.
that's also the same genre as, well, I'm fine now. I'm doing better now. I want to come back. I want to come back to the fucking noose hanging back over there.
Yeah.
And so has Blair been infected at this point? Like that's the...
Well, at some point he has, but I don't know when, and that's the
It
thing.
was the pencil. Remember?
It very well
my
could have
theory,
been.
man. And
A slow acting. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could be infected, but you're not going to infect others or freak out until you're in proximity and can, because that dog obviously was normal for a long time.
That's true.
yeah, and it only started going that way when the other dogs started growing at it, right?
Yeah, and it could infect them or whatever. Yeah. Blair is convinced it ain't Fuchs. I don't want to stay out here anymore. I wrote
I just want to
down.
come inside and make you guys some oatmeal.
Yeah, right. He's pretty insistent about wanting to go back inside. So I have it. Is he already infected at this point? I wasn't sure, but he's very insistent about wanting to come back inside.
And he's infected like a motherfucker in my opinion.
Yeah, I think.
I like how they just closed the door on him.
Yeah. They find Fuchs.
Nope.
They find Fuchs' glasses. So now, I think this is the second. So I'm putting this down.
Because
as,
he's all burned up.
Yeah.
They don't just find his glasses, but they find a burned up body
Yes.
or whatever. And it's just Fuchs, and MacReady finds glasses and goes, yeah, it was.
yes.
Why would he burn himself? Well, maybe he did an accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he burned himself so we couldn't get him.
Yeah.
Windows is sent back to tell the others that they found Fuchs. Mac and Knowles need to investigate Mac's shed. The lights are on because when I was there, I had the lights off. Now they're on.
It was a good reveal. I like it. Because he's already looking, talking, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, well, why do you want to do that? Because and then the camera turns over and points to it. That's good.
Yes. So now Knowles and Mac are out there. We cut to Childs keeping guard. It's about 45 minutes later, they say, and Knowles comes in, and he has cut the rope on MacReady and left him out there. He is convinced.
Yep.
Knowles is convinced that Mac is the guy now. There's some broken glass.
He found the MacReady thing that he found.
He's found it stuffed in the. I think Fuchs found it earlier, didn't he?
Yep.
And now Fuchs. So Fuchs must have put it in there.
Yeah, because I guess Knowles found it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say? Because he's making comment about, I don't think he saw me take it or whatever.
Yeah. This is also they hear broken glass. Mac is still alive and he's breaking into the supply room and they bust down the door. We're going to kill him. We're going to kill him.
This is all fun and games still?
I think so. Yes. I don't have. Yes.
I thought maybe.
Well, this is where I wanted to see how you're coming out on this because, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe false defeat because he got locked outside and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it could also be a false victory when they do the blood test and they narrow down who it is. And he gets him and he proves to everyone else that he's not the thing.
Right.
That's like my favorite. Probably my favorite scene in the whole movie is the blood test.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Knowles comes back near Frozen, found Mac's garment, cut him loose.
I love the detail in McCready's beard. Like he looks like he was stuck outside.
Oh
like
yeah,
he's
no, it's
frozen, and he does a good deal with his hand later on.
Yeah,
like he's trying to flex it, and his beard. I think from this point on, his beard spins like the rest of the movie is covered nice. The rest of the movie.
They're going to kill Mac. That McCready has armed himself with dynamite and
yep, good ideas.
Not afraid to use
ideas
it.
of value.
yeah,
Man.
yeah. No, he is. They are at each other's throats at this point. Norris goes down for the count, and Cooper is let loose to work on Norris. It does not go well. So at this point, Norris and Cooper are the next two to go.
Yep, completely forgot about that. I don't know why, but completely forgot when he's doing the CPR and then
Yeah,
his chest
I-
opens up and takes it down. I was like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
forgot about that
Yeah.
completely. And I don't know why, because that's the same scene with the head later on off the. It's his body where the head drops
Yes.
off the table,
Yes.
and I remember that, but I didn't remember.
Okay, I have a confession.
Yeah.
That's when I fell asleep right before that happened.
Oh,
And woke up when they're screaming, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I call it the Norris is being burned, but not before the walking head.
there's a fun thing in the chest compression scene. When they were making the movie, they used a double amputee for the special effects. Like they used a body double. This double amputee that was missing his arms.
No, really.
Yeah, so that's who you see was a guy
Oh,
with no
nice.
arms
Oh my God.
freaking out.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
So like practical effects.
Yeah, they
goes
didn't-
back
yeah.
to that.
That's
That's is awesome.
yeah, no, it totally worked.
Nice.
They torch him. Yeah, torches, but Windows and Palmer told Mac to tie everybody and test them. Mac kills Clark when he tries to attack. So Clark actually gets killed without ever being infected. Child says, I guess that makes you a murderer or whatever, but that doesn't bother McCready.
Nope.
Right.
Uh-huh.
No, the shots there of him grabbing the knife off the
Yes.
X-Acto blade or whatever off the.
Yeah.
Scalpel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Scalpel. Couldn't get it out. Yeah, I couldn't say the right thing. Scalpel, but it like very much reminded me of like I was like, oh, Carpenter's doing his Halloween tricks.
Yeah.
Just the framing and the seeing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
knife
yeah.
in the foreground, and yeah, it's good. It was well done.
Yeah. This blood test, Mac and Windows are doing the testing. All right, so I wrote down who was clean and who wasn't. So Windows, Mac, Cooper, Clark, Knowles, Childs, and Gary all come up clean. Palmer is the next one on the list. His blood tests positive, and he becomes the thing. The flamethrower malfunction, again, this meant to keep you on the edge, right? You know, the tension.
Knowles came clean before Palmer.
Uh,
Because they were all tied up on the chair, right?
yeah, yes. Gary and Childs are losing their shit. So I guess Gary and Childs are still tied up.
Yeah, okay, that's right. All right, because he does the same trick several times, and it cracked me up. And I thought it was Knowles, and then with Childs, they're sitting there, they're tied up.
Yeah.
And he, has the end of the flamethrower, and he puts the thing, and he heats it up, and he tests their blood, and then takes a sigh of relief, and then immediate cut to them with the flamethrower doing it to the next guy.
Yeah.
And I swear he did it with Knowles, and I know he does it with Childs later on because they're pissed off. Like when you're in the chair tied up, fuck you, man, boo, you're all pissed off. But then like immediately like change of like your mind frame of now I've got the flamethrower and I'm ready to fucking roast your ass.
Whenever you're ready, I don't want to sit in this fucking chair.
Yeah. Yes.
Gentlemen, I know you've been through a lot today, and when you get a chance,
Yes.
you mind untie me because I don't want to spend the rest of my life in this fucking crack me up when you said that. That's good stuff. I forgot about that. Anyhow,
I felt that in my soul. I was like, I would say it exactly like that.
No, Windows.
or you would say, we're going to do this or what? Because I'm ready for my Pop-Tart. I know I'm not the thing, man. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, McCree said, now I'm going to show you what I already know, And earlier, he says, one of you things, like when he's talking to the rest of them.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Says
said-
it? McCready says that?
Yeah, one of you things is going to fight, or whatever.
Nice.
Windows does not survive.
I watched that.
He doesn't make it.
Yeah. Palmer is the
Yeah,
thing.
his head gets bit. Yeah.
Yes.
His speech though, like when he's explaining the blood and how it works, and one of new things, whatever. McCready's speech. I watched that scene several times, because I was trying to keep track and of like the whole eye shine thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to look at that, and because in that scene, I was like, all right, if there's any weight to this theory, this scene has got to prove it, because the camera stops on each guy as he makes that speech. And I'm looking, and I watched it a couple times, and even asked Stace, I was like, all right, hey, I know you're half watching this thing, but look at their eyes. Are their eyes all shining? Because I felt like everybody's eyes were shining but McCready's. even though he tested out at that point,
Yeah.
right? But then I looked it up after, and like it's bullshit. Like there's
okay.
nothing to it.
Oh.
At least Carpenter didn't say, "Yep, I did that." You know.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't familiar with that theory.
Oh yeah, but the eye shine thing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like if your eyes shine or don't shine, you're either the thing or not the thing
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
I think that's a coincidental thing. Honestly.
It's just the way they shot it. Yeah.
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 Because the dog's eyes are shining underneath the tennis
okay.
table earlier. Like that's what reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, that is a theory
Huh.
thing. And so I started trying to keep track of it. But anyhow,
All right. Palmer is torched and falls in the snow. Windows is burned. So now here's where I have, and again, you'll see how, and then you can tell me how you structured this. So I have this as a midpoint false victory. They think they have eliminated the threat. When they do this blood test and Palmer and Windows are done, everybody is tested clean. They think that it's over.
except for Blair.
Right, because they're going to go later to test Blair and he's not there or whatever. But this is at 1 hour and 26 minutes, and I'm pointing this as the false victory. Okay, so they think they've got it. Now they're going to go test Blair, who they know is locked up. But this is at 1 hour and 26 minutes, which is way late. It's not a midpoint at all as far as time.
Yeah, but if the break into 2 was late, then it's going to push everything back, right?
Sure.
So,
And yes, we'll get through this, and then we can talk about whether you agree or how you structured it or whatever. So then, of course, naturally, then we're going to move into the bad guys close in, right?
yep.
They're going out to give Blair the test. Blair is missing. A tunnel is discovered. He's been busy, and there's a ship of some kind underneath the base. Childs is spotted moving outside by Knowles. Someone got outside and blew the generator. Later, Childs will say that he thought he saw, what is it, Blair, I guess?
Yeah.
Again, a misdirect, because there goes Childs off into the dark alone, spotted by Knowles. All is lost. If I had a false victory at the midpoint, obviously this has to be a false defeat. So I have this as, with no power, they are in danger of freezing to death. The decision is made to warm things up. And then MacReady says, we're not getting out of here alive. So I pegged that as sort of an all is lost false defeat. They blow up the ship, and then they start burning the whole camp, which obviously is going to be...
So the ship was put together by
Blair.
from out of spare parts.
Yeah, from the parts. They say from the parts from the helicopter and the Snowcat, I guess, that he destroyed. And if he's the alien, he's going to have...
Yeah, that to me, like, proves it. Like, he's the alien.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Blair, even though he's a smart guy, like,
No, at that point...
he's alien.
Yeah, at that point...
So, like, but he was building ship to get the hell out of there because
yes, I guess...
this MacReady guy may get me, or these other guys, like, I don't know,
the
right?
thing that
Like,
I thought of was the alien ship that the Norwegians found.
Yeah.
This thing that's now loose in the camp, we don't know if that thing got into the aliens and now the aliens crash landed here and now that thing had infected the Norwegians and that thing infected the Americans. Like
the thing alien, we don't know if the thing alien was flying the alien
Right,
ship
right.
to crash. Yeah,
it could be like a xenomorph just
The aliens could have crashed here infected.
infected. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't think about that.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
either, but that's good. I like that. Because
That even explains like maybe why the one was like crawling out and like
yeah.
died or froze in the snow, right?
Yes. And this alien that takes over and imitates doesn't seem technologically advanced like the aliens that built this ship,
Right.
but would have the knowledge of everybody they've assimilated at that point, I think.
Sure. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because that was what I was thinking. It's like, if it's just a shape shifting alien,
Yeah.
I don't know how to build a cell phone. I sure as hell don't know how to build a car.
Yeah.
Not every alien's going to know how to build a ship.
Yeah.
So where does that knowledge come from? But it could be an assimilated.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that, but I like the idea that the aliens who crashed here weren't the thing aliens. They were infected by the thing. Because at some point one character says it could have affected millions of worlds and this, yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about because you had said that I don't know how to build a cell phone. Like if the alien takes over you, like I didn't think about it, like it takes over your knowledge too, right? So like when they're doing the blood test, and the obviously the alien's Palmer at that point sitting there, right? Like the alien's probably sitting there. I knew it was a fucking mistake. Take over this dumb shit, man. I shouldn't have gotten this guy's body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing here.
Was the things, I mean, I know we don't know what its intentions were, but say that dog got out, infected one of them at a time in secret locations, then what? Like, would they all live in harmony? Because it seemed like when one of them was infected, they were all at each other. But from what I'm gathering from this, there were several people infected at the same time. And were they still bickering at each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, would they become a symbiotic unit when everybody...
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they would become more... Because I think the goal of this thing is spreading.
Yeah.
To spread. So they would have tried to get back to civilized world,
Yeah, just write it out till, somebody gets on that ship and goes home. Or if you're the thing, you get on the ship and you go home or whatever.
Yeah.
Not the ship, but the helicopter.
Yes. And because MacReady says it wants to freeze now.
Yep, because it doesn't have a way off, so it's just going to wait. Yeah.
Wait for the rescue team.
So what was the deal with the ship?
Well, I think Blair alien thing was going to try to get back to civilization.
Okay, not go back to the stars, but go
No.
to
I think
civilization.
I think he was going to try to...
Okay, because I thought it was like trying to go back home.
Yeah.
No, I think he has knowledge from the aliens he infected that crashed on Earth.
Okay.
As have assimilated. But I think he was trying to get to a populated area.
Makes sense. Yeah, because the helicopter would surely not go all the way back to civilization. The helicopter may go back to the airfield or something.
Yeah, right.
That they all use, Norwegians, Americans, whoever else is down there as an airfield. But
well, Blair destroyed the helicopter before he was the alien.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he needs something a little bit more power.
Yeah. So the alien is trying to rebuild
something.
Something. Yeah.
So now the alien's cussing Blair. As he's building the.
Yeah.
I had to blow up the fucking helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Could have used that, dummy. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So now they're burning the whole camp. Now I say we move into the dark night of the soul. The generator room. Mac, Knowles, Gary. The generator is gone. Can it be repaired? No, it's missing. Right. Gary says. Who is left at this point? So the ones we have alive confirmed are Gary, Mac, Knowles. Childs is missing, and Blair is somewhere. Childs is missing. Gary, Mac, and Knowles are in the generator room. Blair is definitely now the thing, and he takes out Gary. So Gary bites it.
It's like I think it's the first time we see that, right? Like first time we see
the alien actually, in fact, yeah.
Yeah, like as a human, like take out another human
yes,
or whatever.
Yes, yes. Everything else has been...
Well, I guess when he was dead or whatever, he takes the guy's hands.
Yeah, I guess so.
But actually, I guess copying, like that was just seemed like that was just killing. Like that was just a survival type thing to me when he's inside the guy that had a heart attack or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's, takes the guy's hands. Like it seemed like the thing was just trying to survive at that point.
Probably, yeah.
Where this seemed like, I guess, to clarify, first time we see like the imitation takeover.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because he does this weird thing, puts his hand in his mouth inside his cheeks. Like
and he drags him away. Null sees him being dragged away.
Right.
Null sees Gary being dragged away and goes to investigate alone.
Dumb.
He died of stupidity there. Max discovers he is alone.
How's it going down there?
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Nothing. The thing then busts up through the floor. Mac confronts
He got real big all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He got real big.
Yeah. Confronts the thing, seemingly blows it up, destroying the last of the shelter of the camp. I have with a fuck you too, he runs into the third act, right? and so you're going to see that the break into 3 is at 1 hour and 38 with no, and so this is
a short third act.
Yeah,
man.
with no team to gather and no castle to storm, we get a Hightower surprise with the emergence of Childs, who got lost in the storm after going after Blair. So he says they wait for a little while to see what happens. So what I'm saying is, essentially, the movie ends on the Dark Night of the Soul beat. I don't think there is a third. I think Carpenter leaves us at the point where the hero would have dug deep down and conquered the thing and saved the day and everything.
Escape to safety
and save the world. But Carpenter, I think, lops that off and says, nope, we're going to end this on the Dark Night of the Soul beat, going out with this idea of we don't know. Let's just see what happens. Maybe we shouldn't make it, this kind of thing. Because if one of them is the alien, they're going to freeze. And when the rescue team comes, that alien is going to infect. And so I think Carpenter...
So how does he storm the castle if this is the break? The break into 3 is about to happen. What does he do to?
Well, what would be the break into 3 at this point? Because I say there's nobody left, so he's got no team, and he's burned down the castle, right? This is why I'm saying I don't think the third act is there.
Yeah.
Now, whether you want to take some of those events earlier...
Yeah, I feel like burning down the castle is the storming of the castle.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm wondering. And I looked at it that way, but as I looked at it,
Because his breaking 3 is nobody's gonna survive. Like he knows that, and that's his plan. So then he's going on about it differently. You know, that's why he's at peace at the end to me about.
Right.
Let's just wait and see what happens.
So if you like it, that's to me. I was comfortable structuring it this way, but if you have a full third act, you're gonna have to back up and find a place where. They have a mid. I think there's a midpoint. I think it's anyway the way I've structured. But you're gonna have to sort of push everything that I have. You're gonna have to push it up farther to get a full third act.
Yeah.
Either way, it ends strangely. Like there's no.
It's ambiguous on
wrap
purpose
up.
for sure.
Yes.
You don't know if Childs is.
Child's the thing. Is McCready the thing? Is neither one of them the thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
But their mistrust and their paranoia won't allow them to.
Well, and at this point they are going to die. They've burned down every structure, and at night it gets to what they said it's going to be 100 below soon. They're not going to see morning at that point.
They probably won't see the next 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. They'll fall right to sleep, and that'll be it. Which is freezing to death. I've heard you actually get warm before you die. Like if you're warm, it means you're done. Hypothermia and all that. You feel warm. You're not warm, but freezing to death.
Well, that's why
not a great way to go, but
he has what is that scotch that he's drinking?
J&B or whatever. Yeah.
He's got the scotch. So that's one of the theories out there is he was making Molotov cocktails. There was gasoline in those bottles.
Oh yeah.
Childs takes a sip.
Yeah, they share the bottle.
And McCready laughs. He smiles when Childs takes a sip. So there's this theory that. He knows that's confirmation. Oh, you're the fucking alien. Because you drinking. If you don't know any better, you're drinking like it's normal, and that's fucking gasoline in there.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot to back it up.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
at that
the
point,
cocktails later on.
But at that point, wouldn't you kill Childs? Because if he freezes to death, and then because if the rescue team is going to take those bodies back.
Yeah, but I guess he's like. Yes. I guess if you want to your point, if Carpenter wanted to play it out and show all that. But he also just, let's wait and see what happens. Like maybe he's waiting for the right moment. I don't know. Yeah. And again, you have to buy into this theory, which there's not a lot to back up. I just thought about it at the beginning. It is a nice, if it's true, it's a nice, to me, for the closing image with the opening, him pouring the stuff, the scotch or whatever into the computer. You cheating, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, now he's cheating in a way by using
pouring the alcohol into somebody.
If it's the same. Yeah. I don't know that I've prescribed to that theory, but it's interesting.
The only thing that I guess it would be a con to that theory would be those two are alone now. Yeah. There's no need for the thing to
charade.
Hiding itself. It would be attacking the last survivor. So I think they're both just human.
Yeah, I tend
That's
to
true.
think.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think about that, James. Yeah.
But they have destroyed their shelter, and there is
the thing knows it's going to survive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. So why not multiply?
But the thing just tries to attack McCready, who has survived up to this point, right? If Childs is the thing, and to your point, if he's no point in hiding, why risk attacking McCready and possibly injuring yourself and McCready getting the best of you? Now you're injured, as opposed to it knows I can just wait it out too, because if I will survive the cold and you won't.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a point about waiting. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think that's one of the cool things about the ending and the way it ends. It'd be nice to have it wrapped up in a bow, but it's
I think
conversation is kind of cool.
Yes, I think
there's also a theory out there. I think somebody debunked it. Well, you can see McCready's breath, but you can't see Childs as well. But I think it's just Kurt Russell's maybe breathing heavier than.
Yeah, I don't.
David Keith.
But
it was interesting.
Yeah. So
like the endings has enough there where it sprung all these theories that people are thinking about it enough.
Right. And
people are interested. They want to know.
Yeah. They keep it ambiguous, and I think he does end it on
a dark night.
Night.
Yeah, it's not a happy note for sure.
Yeah.
Unless there's gasoline in there and he knows.
Right.
Cheating bitch.
Just for fun, I wrote down the order in which they were killed.
Yeah. Were you able to track it? I started to, and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, so kill order. George is first, Fuchs, then Norris, then Copper, then Clark, Palmer, Blair, Gary, and Knowles. Mac and Childs, I put down as being frozen to death.
Well, those were all people that were infected?
Yes, so let's see. Clark was shot and killed by McCready, so he actually died.
So you got to add the two Norwegians on there then.
Well, yeah, this was the kill order for
they were first.
Right. For
following the disease.
They killed themselves in the movie. If you're can speak Norwegian.
Right.
Yes. So there are 11 people, and that's the order. Mac and Childs, I'm having as frozen to death, not.
So nobody makes it out, and the alien might make it out, which is a great way to end it on a scary movie. Is
yes.
See you next time, kids.
Yeah. I tend to think that they did destroy the alien, and that these two guys are going to die, frozen in the snow, as humans.
And that would explain why the thing was so big right there at the end. Like, it was bigger than we've ever seen before, or whatever. Maybe that was it. Like, And
Could be.
The thing got really big when it busted underneath the floor. Like, it was the physical size of it was much bigger than we'd seen previously. So maybe, like your theory about it, they had killed it, and Childs and MacReady are both human at the end.
Yeah,
that's why it was so big, because that was it. That was the big bad monster, and they finally killed it.
Did Wilford Brimley? I keep forgetting his character's name. He disappears and comes back as the big monster, right? We never see him either change or what happened to him.
The last time we see him is he's dragging Knowles off, right? No,
he's running
Gary.
around.
Yeah, he's dragging Gary off.
What happens to Knowles? Knowles gets killed.
Yeah, we don't actually see Knowles. Knowles goes to investigate, and that's it.
So they're burning the place down.
Yes, and they're burning the place down. But but we have to assume that if Knowles went off to investigate, he did not come back.
Yeah, it's just weird though, like, because we see the first time we see the imitation transfer, but then they don't do anything with it, because next time we see it, it's this big alien thing busting through the floor.
Yeah, he drags Gary off.
Yeah, we see that, but then the next time we see the thing, it's now this creature thing again busting through the floor, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
It was like, did it take all those guys and was trying to transform and couldn't decide who it wanted.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it?
When it busts through, you see the faces of some of the people in.
Right.
Yeah,
it became a conglomeration of everything.
Did you see the dog?
You see the dog and the faces of
like T2.
Yeah. Yes. So. Yeah.
No, they may have done this, and I just didn't catch it. Did they test? What is his name? Blood, the one that was out there by himself.
Blair, no, they
never did because he was gone. When they get to his, he's on the door is open and he's gone.
Oh, that's when they were going to test it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna give Doc the test or whatever, or Blair the test. Yeah, not Doc, but yeah.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley was 58 years old in this movie. Philip.
Damn, he's older than I am. He does some pretty physical stuff in this movie. Like
he was 58 then.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Wait, no, I think it was 58. Because he was born in 36.
Oh.
So.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I follow.
He was doing some shit in, like, Hard Target.
Like, I found
16 years later.
On Twitter, there's a page that's called the Wilford Brimley Cocoon Line. It's so many days, like 18,000 days, you've passed the Wilford Brimley, the age Wilford Brimley was at the filming of Cocoon. Yeah. Paul Rudd has passed that. Tom Cruise obviously has passed that. Like, people that you're like, oh my God, Wilford Brimley, you think of him as this old man. He's been old forever.
Yeah. He's never not been old as far as I don't think I've ever seen him young in anything.
That's crazy.
Well,
just fun facts.
Yeah, no, because in Cocoon they were supposed to be old and decrepit and,
speaking of.
But so many people are older than that.
I just saw something that said all the people who played in Friends are now older than, Blanche was when she started in the Golden Girls.
Jared Leto is he passed the Brimley Cocoon line 5 days ago.
Good God.
Yeah. 18,530 days old. That's the Wilford Brimley Cocoon line. On Twitter, it's an awesome when it does celebrities and people of note. It's like, this person is as old as Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, because
they pulled a picture of Wilford Brimley, like, damn, he's old looking.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Anyway, that was a tangent.
No,
I just love seeing these. I saw Archie Bunker and Edith. They were like in their 40s.
Right.
When they were on, what was it? What was the name?
I think Homer Simpson is 33 or 38, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He seems older. I don't know why.
Yeah. Seems way older.
It's just getting old, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I have to watch myself now. Like, we'll be watching something, and I don't know what it was, or something. I think it was something supposed to be like college kids or something. And, watching a TV show or something, it's supposed to be the college kids, but it was like an older guy playing one of the college kids or something. And I remember my comment was like, that dude's like a 40-year-old man.
Oh,
Shit, I'm
ouch.
40.
Yeah,
God damn
no,
it.
I hear you, man. Mm,
Yeah, what's
What did Sherry post the other day? Something about your senior citizens discount?
yeah, they asked us if we.
nice?
Yeah,
And she said, for 60? And I'm like, no.
Man, I'll take a discount anytime.
yeah, no, I hear you. Whatever.
If you look at Wilford Brimley, I think he was getting a senior discount in his 20s.
Yeah.
No, that's nuts. Yeah, I still mess with him. He was 58 in this because he's that guy that seemed old forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
Like I thought he was. I
but
thought he was
when
already
you're-
85. You know,
When you're a kid and teenager, 58 is old.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to 30, you realize, 40's not that old.
sure.
40, 50, 60's not old.
No, right. Anyway, yeah. So the thing, man. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it.
You know,
So if we do the recommend,
Yeah.
pass, consider.
I definitely recommend it. I've enjoyed it every time I've seen it.
yeah,
Uh,
tremendously.
I like the character. I like anything with Kurt Russell, but yeah, I definitely recommend The Thing for a fun scare movie. You know,
I'd recommend it. And this is one of the top ones I'd say if somebody was starting with John Carpenter stuff, this is a solid one
Oh,
to
yeah.
go with.
absolutely.
So yeah, definitely go for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm same. Same. Recommend.
Yeah.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah.
Here I go.
Here I go. Yeah, no. That's a pass for me. We watched it on Blu-ray. Mistake.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice and clear.
Yeah.
I fell
Same.
I fell asleep until the screaming. And then I'm not kidding you, some of that made me nauseous.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was very wet-
grotesque. Yeah.
Wet special effects.
So you woke up about the same time that the character in
When
the
he-
show was saying, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like that was Sherry. That's what you said when you wook up. And you saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Palmer-
I made a list of titles that it should have been.
Nice.
Because I looked it up. It's based on a story called "Who Goes There," and I thought The Thing. I guess it's better than that, but no, I would have been saying WTF,
Yeah.
WTH.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a hell no. And I was like, well, nope's taken, so it'd have to be nasty or
Yeah.
something like that. Because I was like, no, mm-mm, or yuck. But anyway,
I think that should be a thing. Like from going forward, like you. I don't know if it always has to be you, but like somebody, and it's your thing, so you can do it. But like alternate titles, like I really like that idea. Like
It's
that should
like-
be a thing every going forward time now. So
Yeah.
we should
It
go
was-
with
it was
alternate
like,
titles for the movie.
You want to put an
Hell no.
addendum to The Shining, Phil?
Ah,
What other things it could have been called?
Kubrick eat a dick.
oh my God.
bloated douchebaggery.
Oh, and then the other thing I have to address is the hat, because you talk about something that takes you away from the story. I
She
didn't
could not
know-
get over the hat.
when
McCready's
they
hat.
showed his hat. I sat there and I went, "What the heck is he wearing?" And I just totally didn't pay attention to the story for a long time,
So
looking
you
at his
like
hat.
the hat a lot?
Oh no, I think it's weird. And
His
then,
Antarctica hat.
well,
It
I
did
didn't know what it
disappear
was.
too.
And
Like
I
it
looked.
was in there and then it disappears.
Yeah.
Well, I looked up
Maybe
information.
the alien took it. He was taking
Yeah,
it back to
maybe.
the.
The hat is the thing, you know.
Well, I looked up information about the hat, trying to figure it out, and found that video of Adam Savage
Mhm.
from MythBusters
yeah.
recreating it, and his wife apparently feels the same way I do, because she's like, "You're not wearing that in public, are you?" I mean, I just couldn't get past the hat for a while.
I think it's McCready's way of saying, and fuck you too. You know, put this hat on. Say something about my hat, you know.
Right.
Well, it covers his whole body,
Right. I think McCready wears it probably as a finger in the eye of people who have to look at it, you know.
Maybe, yeah.
Probably.
He's not going to do things that are going to be people pleasers. Like I don't see him as a humanitarian, you know.
Right. And I think it was a whole group of the same like people down there in
Yeah.
Antarctica. Like they were just all there down there for selfish reasons.
And yeah, they're all don't want to deal with each other, especially Palmer and
He's down
Childs,
there
and
to
they'll have
drink and fly helicopters. They're probably paying him a lot of money.
yeah,
So he's gonna take his crazy hat and all his alcohol.
right, yeah.
But it would. I mean, some of it I enjoyed, but for the majority, no, I'd have to pass on that. I
Yeah.
just.
It's
if
pretty
you-
graphic.
Oh.
The graphic warning if you're not used to it. Like it's
Yeah, I could take the wet goo monster stuff, but like the spider legs out of the head, and that's where I got a little rough for me. I did
Yeah.
not-
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Or
Yeah, I
something
do
is what
not
that guy
like it.
said.
and You feel as frustrated as Kurt Russell with his flamethrower. You're like, shoot it!
No, right, absolutely. Very well done as far as the creep factor and like just kill it, you know. Anyway, all right. Well,
it's a good one.
Good one. All right. Anything else? All right. That is The Thing. We are out.
Here I go.
Here I go.
Oh,
yeah,
they should have shot the dog. Damn it!
I'd rather eat a grenade than have a monster.
No, absolutely.
Clone me.
I'm good now. I want to come out.
I really want to come back in there, you know. Fringe go, oh, it happens all the time. They're dropping out of the skies. They control South America. Blair doesn't know who to trust. Mac tells him, trust in the Lord.
No, I've got the flamethrower in. I'm ready to fucking roast you.
We watched it on Blu-ray. Mistake.
Yeah.
Nice and clear.
Yeah.
I fell asleep until the screaming.
You feel as frustrated as Kurt Russell with his flamethrower. You're like, shoot it!
No, right, absolutely.